Hey everyone, so today I'm here with a Spanish stuffed pepper recipe, and I got this out of a recipe book, so I can't take credit for it, but it's one of our favorites in our house, and it is a little bit unhealthy. There's rice, ground meat, bacon, some tomatoes, and this portion size comes out to about 565 calories. So it's not bad for a meal if that's all you eat, which that's all we do. So if you'd like to see how I make this, then just stay tuned. Okay, so you'll need a half a can of diced tomatoes. This is a 28 fluid ounce, so I would get a half of that. This is just Almer's regular diced tomatoes. You will need some cayenne pepper, oregano. This is 1 cup of ground beef. You can use any ground meat you want. This is just seasoned with garlic, salt, and pepper. 4 pieces of bacon cooked and broken up. And then also 1 cup of cooked rice. So this is 1 cup measured out and then cooked. And then you will need 2 large size green peppers. I use the ones with the 4 feet, I would guess I would call it. They're just easier to stand, and I think they cook better. So those are the ingredients you will need for this. So once you have your diced tomatoes measured out into a half a can roughly, this is just the pan I use for the bacon, and I take the grease out of it, but I leave like the bacon pieces stuck onto the pan, and then it'll loosen off when you add the tomatoes. So we're gonna add the tomatoes to the pan and let it simmer for a while. We're gonna add roughly a half a teaspoon of oregano and a couple pinches of the cayenne pepper. Whether you like it spicy or not, that's up to you. So you can add more or add less. So I'm just gonna add these to the pan. And I have this on a medium heat. Okay, so this is just boiling a little bit here. I left the tomato juice in it as well because that will reduce down. And I just like to take a potato masher and mash these tomatoes up a little bit more, because me and my husband don't really like biting into huge chunks of tomatoes, but we want that flavor. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. And be careful when you're doing this so you don't splash yourself with the hot juices. Okay, that's probably the consistency I want. It's just a little bit chunky, but they're not huge chunks. And now I'm just gonna add the oregano. So I just add a little palmful, roughly a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon. And then my cayenne pepper has a shaker on it, so I'm just going to shake in a couple times. We like it a little bit spicier, so that's probably good. And then I'll just mix that around. Now this isn't the healthiest recipe, but I guarantee it's really good. And if you portion it out, then it is really filling. It's a hearty meal. If you switch some things out, doing your own tomatoes, and using leaner ground meat like a turkey or a chicken, it definitely lessens the calories of it. So I normally do it with turkey, but I had ground beef in the freezer, so I just took that out this morning and decided to use that. Now normally I would saute up an onion, like a small onion, a couple slices from it first before I put the tomatoes in, but I didn't have an onion, so we don't mind it without it, but I really suggest you use the onion. Saute it up first and then add the tomatoes. So you just want this to reduce down just a little bit. There you can see it's starting to reduce down. Now while this is reducing, I'm gonna turn it down to the lowest it can go, just to let this sit a little bit, and I'll get my peppers ready while I'm waiting for this. So we'll do that now. Okay, so here's my peppers, and I'm just gonna cut out the center of it in a circle and try and pop that out. And do the same for the other one. And I just try and cut out the inside pieces that I don't want as much as I can. And then I use my hands. I don't know if you can see that, but I just kind of pull off the inside pieces. And then I throw those pieces in the garbage. So you want to make basically a bowl for your filling to sit inside. Now I'm just going to wash these up and I'll be right back. Okay, so my peppers are all washed up and I put them in a glass like loaf pan, and that's what we'll be baking them in because they will be going in the oven. And I think the sauce is pretty much reduced down, so I'll just show you that now. So this is what you want your sauce to look like, the consistency. So it's reduced down, but it's not reduced down too much, and you're not burning it as well. So that's it there. Okay, so I just got a big bowl and I'm gonna add the sauce to it as well as our other ingredients, and I'll just show you that as I go. So we can turn our burners off and we can preheat the oven now to 375. So I'm just adding the sauce to the big bowl. And we'll take this over to our other ingredients. Okay, so we have our sauce, and we're gonna take our rice and add that in. We're gonna take our ground meat and the bacon. And we're just gonna mix that all together until it's combined. I'm just using a tablespoon to do that. You could also substitute the white rice with a healthier rice, such as brown rice. Okay, so I think it's pretty much combined, and that's what it's gonna look like. Okay, so it looks like that, and now we're just gonna add it to our peppers. So I'm just taking spoonfuls, and as I go, I'm pushing it down into the pepper. Now, some people like to cook their stuffed peppers in water first. I don't. We like them a little bit crunchier. So we're not going to cook them as long in the oven as well. So if you like your peppers really soft or mushy, then I suggest you boil them in water, probably 5 to 10 minutes first. You can stuff them and then put them in the oven. I find they break apart a lot easier, and it's just more difficult to work with a hot pepper. So now I have a little bit left over, as you can see, and normally what I do with this is I just set a little bit more on top, like this. Okay, so there's our stuffed peppers. I'm gonna throw these in the oven. You can cover them, that way your rice will stay moist on top. Me and my husband like the rice to go a little bit crispy on top, so I leave it uncovered. These will go in the oven at 375 for roughly 25 to 30 minutes. And depending on how hot your oven is, you'll have to adjust it to that and just keep checking them. So I'm gonna just throw these in now. Okay, so these are how my stuffed peppers look when they're done. And be careful with the pan, obviously it's going to be very hot. But I just take a dish like this, it's a small bowl or shallow bowl. And what I do is very carefully the pepper and set it on top. And then I just set this aside. And I'm going to take my spoon and I have just some of the sauce. And I'm just going to so that is my stuffed pepper recipe. Let me know if you try it. Send me pictures on my Twitter. I'll have that link below. If you enjoy it, let me know. Also, if you want more recipes on my channel, let me know in the comments below. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.